Hello, I'm Alex Dixon, Group 1, Week 5, Individual Response. I don't have to go into the whole disclaimer. This is a very difficult read for me. Made that clear on the discussion board, so I'm just going to move on. Did the best I could. I'm happy with that. Um, so, to begin, according to Polkinghorne, what is human science and what are its implications for methodology? My personal understanding of human science prior to the reading was that it was the objective study of the overall human experience or the characteristics that make us who we are as an object and a subject. After reading the text, I believe that Polkinghorne is describing human science in a similar manner, but in a lot more detail than I have. Um, sorry. Uh, the clearest statement that I could find in the text that best summarizes Polkinghorne's definition of human science was on page 158, where he writes that human science is the study of the underlying systems and the study of actual behavior or events. Um, Again, I agree with Christy in that this text was fairly difficult to digest. So, coming up with an answer to the second question, which was using the Nelson and Perlitinsky text, can you see yourself fitting into the critical research role? I agree that that was a really difficult thing to answer. But based on what I did understand of the text, um, I could see myself fitting into the role of a critical researcher because I feel that I have a lot of experience playing many different roles and projects within the current job that I'm doing. Um, from finance to quality assurance to instructional design, um, I feel that I'm pretty good at fitting the roles that are needed of me. I can also see myself fitting into the critical research role because I'm very aware of the importance of immersing disadvantaged people in a project. Um, I don't have a lot of experience with disadvantaged people, I guess you could call them, but being biracial, my father is African American, my mother is Caucasian, being a veteran, being a Purple Heart veteran that has a whole lot of stereotype behind that, which is all garbage in my opinion. Um, I feel like I can kind of sympathize a lot better with people that are disadvantaged. Um, in my opinion, the key to critical research is understanding and sympathizing with those that you're researching and to find methods to empower these individuals to want to find answers to issues or problems that affect their lives. Moving on to the group one questions. According to Polkinghorne, what are emergent properties that make a whole more than just the sum of its parts? In regards to Polkinghorne's emergent properties that make a whole more than just the sum of its parts, I think that the statement that makes an impact in my mind is on page 137, where he states, the nature of the team cannot be deduced from the character of the individual parts. And the properties of the team can be discovered only by studying the team as a whole. I really thought about what he was trying to say, and the best example I could come up with, based on my experience, is the military. You have so many different parts of the Army, for instance. You have military intelligence, you have artillery, infantry, communications, engineering, but you can't say that a nation's military is good or bad based on one part. Oh, well, your artillery isn't that great, so your whole army is no good. But you have to look at everything as a whole to really determine the effectiveness of that team. Um, Moving on, using the Nelson and Perlitinsky text, compare and contrast the Latin American and U.S. origins of critical research. How do these origins lead to different and/or convergent methods and results? Using that text, participatory research originated in Latin America while action research originated in the U.S. On page 278, the authors describe the participatory research as research based on the assumption that opposed people must be fully engaged in the process of research, education, and change. I came up with an example. I'm not sure if I'm hitting on all the points that they made in the text, but I tried. So, for example, researchers could present problems that Current irrigation methods pose the farmers of a rural African community and involve them in developing new solutions. And by doing this, you're making them feel empowered, making them want to come up with new solutions to future problems on their own without having to always be present as the researcher. Um, on the same page, page 278, the authors describe action research as having more of a relationship with organizational managers rather than disadvantaged people. Um, an example of action research would be factory managers participating in research to improve work processes of factory. Or one I just now came up with is conducting research with city officials on the placement of or the improvement of poverty-stricken areas rather than doing the research with those people in those areas. So you're not talking to the people that have firsthand account of how poverty affects them in their areas. You're going to the mayor or the city council instead. So that was my take on everything. Hopefully I did a decent job. It was really hard for me to get through the text and to really understand what was being discussed. So I'm just hoping to be able to watch some other videos and get a better idea of the things I missed, the things I felt like I picked up good on. And that's about it. So hopefully I'll do a good job in the moderator video. Due tomorrow, I believe. All right. Thank you very much.